Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Tomorrow, live, silent trailers, the greatest game show of all time.
I'm so excited.
Who are the guests? Dana Gould, Guy Branum, Abby Crutchfield, Sarah Hartshorn. A star-studded event. I'd love for you to be there to root for me because I am nervous. More info and tickets, keithandthegirl.com/tickets. Today's guest, ladies and gentlemen, co-host.
You can't get out of ladies and gentlemen, can you?
I can't, honest
You
to God.
really can't.
I just reheard the last show that we did where we even talked about that. I don't even know if I don't even know if I mean it or it's a placeholder or it just flows into the next thing.
I have said ladies and gentlemen, and I'm like, that's not what I intended to say. You just have to kind of get started. So yeah, I hear you. And I appreciate that you thought about it.
Okay, here we go. Folks, y'all. Here he is, the co-host of Mango Bay, from BET's 50 Central, from Showtime's Desus and Mero, from America's Got Talent, Usama Siddiqui. Hello, Usama.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Happy to be here.
Wow.
We're hanging.
Wow.
Apparently, I'm canceled now for that. What does that mean? Why is that bad? I don't even know why that's bad. Why is it bad?
It is feeding into the binary. If we're going to say that some people are non-binary, then we're going to introduce them to you as well.
Sure. That actually, now that makes sense. So I did hear it, ladies and gentlemen, at Stonewall Inn though once. I remember a drag queen yelling it out, ladies and gentlemen. So
right. No, I mean, it's standard. I'm not going to kill Keith after we finish recording. You know, it's like of note that when you're hosting a show, it's very difficult to start and to find something. So you lean on what you already heard. Okay.
This podcast is called Keith and the Girl. You know, if we don't have, we got to work through that one too. If we're going to.
Sure.
mean, there's a girl I'm with right now who the girls that I'm always dating, I call them like girl, like, what up girl? How you doing? That's my girl. And she was the first one to ever be like, what? You can't do that. I'm not a girl. I'm a woman. It's like what Keith was doing. We're like, I just can't not say girl. It's like a comma for me. You know, I'm like, what up girl? How you doing, girl? And I've had to evolve on that and not just be able to
And you know what? I have thought recently of how many new listeners we're losing because of that identifier, because this show, just like the show that the story that you just told, that's how Keith referred to me, because I said, don't use my name when he had a popular blog. And I was like, you can say everything that we do because that's your point of view. It's your perspective. Don't say my name. So you'd be like the girl and I, you know, whatever. And now I do say, I don't even like when people say lady, because I'm like,
was the first idea of the podcast, the first name, Keith and the fucking Broad? Was that the first? That was the first name that we had. Then you were like, maybe not.
We're like, let's think how that looks as a tattoo. Nah.
And there was also a second layer that I think you might appreciate. And nobody could say my name right. I don't want to hear a show title that I have worked at. I work on a show with a show title where I hear Keith and Chemda. I'd rather hear the girl, and maybe that. So I think less feminism about the title, more it was about immigration. Than if we're gonna put it on a platform.
Keith and the green card. How y'all doing? What's going on?
I'm a full citizen. Okay, you can't kick me out.
You're right. I'm actually the green card holder. To be honest.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the same thing. I had to repost a story of a flyer that I was on, and my name was spelled Sidiquque. I'm like, might as well just call me Johnson. You're gonna fuck my name up that much. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's why I go by just my first name. I'm like, as soon as everybody gets my first name right, we'll work on the second name.
Have you ever thought, and I'm not saying two, of course, have you ever thought about changing your name in the beginning of comedy? Like comedians have nicknames all the time.
Yeah. But go the black circuit, like give it up for Earthquake or something like crazy. No, I was never do that, because I just felt like all my favorite comics kept their names. Now, if Bill Burr was named like, the Irish, the Ginger Bomb or something, then I would have thought, oh, maybe I should name myself. I just looked to my heroes to do it.
By the way, congrats again on America's Got Talent.
Thank you. We haven't talked since then. Oh my God.
I know. No, clips online, a million sing it. Everybody loves it. Does it help you with your parents or with your family? Like, hey, I know I left med school or that idea. Look, though, I am somebody.
I am a human being. I now have a heartbeat. Yeah,
Right.
When I did that at America's Got Talent, they finally gave my birth certificate. They're like, you now exist. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was a pretty big day for us. You know what I'm saying? It was that the first round. So there's 2 rounds, y'all know. First round, explosive. Second round, the tramp situation. That was crazy. But the first run was standing O, shout out Simon Cowell, won the it was right before pandemic. So literally a week before pandemic started, I flew out to LA to do it. The day I came back, everything locked down. It was that close of a situation. After that, they didn't hold any more auditions. It was that by a hair's breadth of a situation. When I first did that, it first came out in June, it was crazy. But everyone in Bangladesh watched it. It was like everyone forwarded to that fucking country. That whole country went crazy because I'm the first Bangladeshi to ever be on that show. So it's like holy shit. So there was like a whole, massive explosion. My dad went crazy. His Facebook was exploding, and it was the first time, I was on Facebook for like 30 years. And I went back to see the comments of my dad's friends being, oh, amazing, amazing. It was wild. My mom saw it, didn't laugh once. She was confused the entire time, but she saw it like, okay, I do understand what laughter is. And I see that they're doing it.
Right.
Okay, I'm putting 2 and 2 together.
That's funny. I could just picture your parents watching and your mother's like, what did he say? What does he mean by that? What did he just say?
My mom called my dad the moment after and told him to explain every joke. Like, what did he mean when he said open relationship? I'm like, here we go. Okay.
Oh boy. So how did your father explain open relationship?
So he didn't explain the open part. He just said, when a guy likes a girl, they, hang out, you know what I'm saying, in the open space, you know what I'm saying?
So he gave her the rated G version.
Yeah, to my mom, open relationship is walking around a park with a girl. Open relationship.
I think that's what my mom still thinks I do with my partner.
Right. So
my mom, yeah.
So did AGT just stop?
What do you mean stop? The show?
With the pandemic thing. Like you
Dude, it was crazy. The whole thing was crazy, man. I still believe that because of the pandemic, I was able to go to the next round. Because what happens is usually that you do a first round, then you do a second round that's like for the live show round. The one you see on like the main competition, I was in semifinal round. That starts after a second round, which happens in live as well, Universal Studios in Florida. Okay. Pandemic was raging back then, so they just skipped that whole round. So I got to stand and go, the 3 yeses at the auditions, which is also televised, part of the show. And then pandemic hit, and then they basically just chose acts to go to the next round. So they had like a 1 episode where like the judges and just they would like bring in a couple of acts on a screen and be like, you made it, you didn't make it. And it kind of skipped this one whole segment of the situation. And so I kind of benefited from that.
So where are you at now?
The show's over. I lost on the semifinal round. It's every summer. So they're having a new batch, probably doing auditions probably as we speak, probably like the first couple of episodes are coming out in the next couple of months or something like that.
Are you glad you did it?
Yeah. Oh my God. It's exploded my reach. The second one was, it seemed at the beginning it was going to be crazy because Heidi was trying to maybe derail it, but all that did was create more controversy and create more opportunities. And people, if you see the joke, it's a great joke. So all it is what happens with a lot of comics in AGT is that they do the show, they get a lot of fans that come onto the show, but then they have to call the actual comedy fans because what you're doing in those minutes are like, hey, NBC. And so when they see the actual set the guy has, they're like, what is this? I don't know comedy. I know the 3 minutes you did after the fire twirler. I don't know what this shit is at Addison Improv. But what I did inadvertently, I just wanted to do the jokes that I liked. And what happened was because of the controversy, it called out anyone who would have not come to my show.
I see.
So now all the fans are coming out to the shows. They're like, oh, I loved you on AGT and I saw that. Fuck Heidi, blah, blah. But now only those people are coming to the show. So I didn't have that year of like, okay, I got to call out all the people who hate me now because I'm doing my actual stuff.
Explain the controversy.
So basically this tramp on television.
Is that you?
Heidi Klum?
I'm the tramp, yeah. So Heidi Klum, who's a German model judge, kind of legend, really. There's a joke where I I do a joke about how a DJ can say anything he wants or she, as long as you add a beat drop, makes it all okay.
Right.
And so the beat is women shouldn't vote. What? Right.
And she thinks you're giving a sermon instead of doing stand-up.
Right. So the idea of the joke is, what's the worst thing you can say before a beat drop?
Right.
How bad a thing can you say that a beat drop makes it okay? And to me, the worst thing you can say is women shouldn't vote, which I think in my mind is feminist. That's what I thought. But
and it's the worst thing you could say on NBC maybe at that time slot. Sure.
Right. And by the way, in the clubs I say slut. I don't know if y'all know. In the clubs I say I if I called you a slut or whatever, right? So I tramped it for NBC. You know, I was like, what's the NBC version of slut? I'm like, tramp. Right. And what they did, she took it as I called her a tramp, which is totally not true. It was just bringing her in. Hey, Heidi, if I called you a tramp, that's terrible. But if I was like, tramp, 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 she'd be like, well, I do get loose on occasion, you know, and that it's great. It's a great joke. It's great. So solid. Come on, Kevin, you know.
No, I like this. I can see why.
I've done this joke.
I know.
You've seen this joke.
I've seen it. Yes.
But Heidi never understands what stand-up is. Like, do you be like, Howie Mandel, can you explain it to her? Like,
dude,
why is the model talking to
right.
No
why is the German model? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did Germans become humorous all of a sudden? You know,
you should have said that.
Yeah, that's great. That's really, you just try. You're like, oh, you guys are cool with that. How about if I throw this at you?
Right. I could have been, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So Howie was laughing in the beginning because he loves jokes. And then he was kind of looking around. He's like, oh dear. And I get it, because if you're a judge and you make $1 million from sitting in a chair and just saying yes or no, you don't want to fuck that up for any reason.
Right.
You know, I get it. I would do the same thing. I'd be like, I don't want to lose my career because I laughed at 9/11 or whatever. So he kind of stopped. Sophia kind of stopped, was seeing Heidi, and it was like, oh dear. And there was no crowd. There's no crowd in that entire room. It was just them four in a massive warehouse because of the pandemic. If I had a crowd, then none of their opinions would have had weight, because the crowd would have been, you know, so on board that it was like, it would take away her ability to have 25% of the reaction.
I mean, she still could have had that reaction. It just wouldn't have been 25% of the reaction.
That's what I'm saying. She could have had it for sure. But the idea is, we're mob people, we're sheep, we're in an environment of infectiousness. When she sees that the crowd may or may not, possibly may have exploded, it would have given less credence to her assessment.
No, a lot of these times when it's a reality show, they get a story from the contestant. And they keep to that story. They make you repeat that story. So now you have sound bites that are very much geared towards this thing. Did they pick a story for you and keep hounding it?
Yeah, it was really the mom stuff, you know, the med school stuff. Really, my story wasn't even that good compared to everyone else's. There were other better stories on there. I had a high-powered producer who was really gunning for me. So like this guy, John, who was just like my hero on the show, he just fucking pushed me through everything. He was just like, and I was not someone with that show. Like, there was homeless people. There was like incarcerated person for like 45 years, came out, started singing. It's like, gee, and I'm like, my mom said do med school. And I was like, no. And
okay, but let's not forget the first time you were on Keith and the Girl. And you can go to keithandthegirl.com/Usama, USAMA. We were talking about and defending squatting in a building to get water. You would go to Planet Fitness, fill up jugs. That's how you showered. That's how you cooked spaghetti in a microwave. I'm not exaggerating, right?
Yes. Okay, but for the record, I'm still on the side of Usama from that time.
Yes.
And I was on his side at that point because who cares?
Yeah.
Look where he is now. I mean, if this is an ongoing thing forever, I mean, even if it's an ongoing thing forever.
It's surprised it's not, and he's in a house now with running water and kind of never tried it. I'm just saying the producers could have used that angle too. There's enough going on, you know.
He's showing us his running water. Oh goodness. Wow. You made it.
I hope somebody comes in and fills up their jug.
I'm gonna keep that running for y'all, just so you know.
But honestly, doesn't it give you a little more perspective of like when you turn on that faucet? I think we should be more in awe of that. I turned this thing and I get to pick what the temperature of that is. And I'm just using it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you saw that water turn on and then you weren't too stimulated to, you stopped speaking. You kept going somehow.
I did get excited.
Somehow you were still full of sentences. Yeah, 100%. I still do that. If I'm alone, I'll turn it on and be like, oh my God. Like that is true. And I did feel part of that in the AGT story. The first story, I do have that where I was homeless, and I do say that very quickly because I knew my mom was going to watch it. And I can't really have her knowing that much about what I did. She would be really sad. So I 100%. I never forget where I came from and how long people now reminisce with me. So comics will be like, remember that one time, dude, you brought carrot sticks to a mic, and it's like, dude.
Osama, people are not reminiscing. They're throwing it in your face. These guys are assholes. I know who you're talking about, and they're just jerks.
100%. 100%.
It's
100%.
just funny how you don't defend it anymore. You understand now that
Here's the thing. I'm way too ahead of these people now to give a fuck. Literally got them, drop it. The people who always shout at me growing up, for being skinny or being poor in comedy or being just a jumpy guy in comedy, all have either not done comedy anymore or do writing stuff. They're done in stand-up. So it's like,
but that's because they were doing you a favor. Anyone who sends you energy, they don't have enough energy for themselves to cope.
100.
How sweet is Kenda? For the record, I was more talking about you shitting in plastic bags. But okay. I'm sure Kenda does that on the weekends when nobody's
I wish I could afford the plastic ones. It was not even plastic. It was a paper bag. Right? Brown on brown.
I take it all back. Stop it.
Come on now. People.
Brown on brown, baby.
Let's not play stupid. But you would, you'd be squatting, but you'd be working all day. You were doing Postmates at the time.
If I
remember correctly.
Jeez, damn.
You're delivering. You start doing stand-up. You're getting home 1, 2 in the morning, whatever it is. I would say rinse and repeat, but some days you didn't feel like rinsing, and the gym was closed. But you're always grinding, and you are a jumpy guy. Did the pandemic drive you nuts? Because you can't do 5 or 6 shows a night. Did you go a little crazy? Or
You're right. It did change me, man. I no longer have the need to do 4 sets a night. It's more, I take care of my health more. I used to have moments where I would do a month of work, and then one day, middle of my day, I just start passing out. Just I'd be like, it's almost like epilepsy or something, where narcolepsy, whatever, where my body would just tank in the middle of the day, get really kind of sick. I take one nap and my body would get back to normal. It was like my body screaming for a rest. And now I take care of that way better because pandemic stopped all the movement. And when I stopped the movement, I got very depressed. I started dissociating. April and May were some of the darkest years of my life, darkest months of my life, because I couldn't move anymore. When you stop moving, you got to deal with yourself. You got to deal with who you because really we're so occupied with our journey and our passion and our purpose that we think that it's not helping you if the lack of it creates discord. I think
you're an introspective guy. Did you learn anything?
I learned a lot, man. I learned how to stop needing to move, which I think is every New Yorker needs to learn. Especially, I was a New Yorker's New Yorker. I love the movement more than anything. But I realized when the dearth of the movement created problems, then that means the movement was not really helping. It was, I had to kind of come from a different angle, be a little smarter, be a little more cautious with and preservative with my energy. And in that preservation, I created more new bits. So in that relaxation and not having to do every mic, I create more comedy now. And it's like, it's the paradox of releasing and achieving.
Yeah, it reminds me of, a lot of artists, they get depressed and they don't want to get rid of it because that's where their lyrics come from. That's where their stand-up comes from. And then they get better and they're like, oh my God, I could just write now. I don't have to get over that in order to write. I didn't know that was the succession of events. I thought it came from my depression. I didn't know how high that hurdle was. I can still get to the other side now, but now I can step over.
People think they're better on drugs. They never are, ever.
Well, here's the thing, though, Osama. You quit medical school to do stand-up, and who told you that was the right thing to do? Mushrooms. You came up with the title Mango Bay. Who told you that's a good title? Mushrooms. You're with your pal, and you're like, you're my bay. Well, we're eating mangoes. You're my Mango Bay. Acid's telling you all this shit.
Dude, are you an elephant? How do you remember? This is stuff this is my story, and you're weaponizing it. It's crazy. You're right. I love shrooms. Shrooms is not a drug. Shrooms is a dietary group.
Listen, they are all drugs. Okay, the mescaline is a drug. The alcohol is a drug. The weed is a drug. It's just what these drugs do. We can't just go drugs and we all know which drugs we're talking about.
Mhm.
We could be talking about prescription drugs. So some people say all drugs are bad and then they take a Tylenol whenever they have half a headache. So
You're right,
drugs
you're
are
right.
useful. We all need to go to the hospital sometimes, unfortunately, and drugs get used.
Every time I think I'm like a progressive, interesting, woke person, I come on this podcast and realize I'm Joe Rogan. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a straight white male. I'm an idiot. But I
Hey,
love it. I
chicks.
need that. I need it. I need that in my life. Yeah. Shit.
By the way,
Yeah,
later we're going to talk to Vincent, by the way. So those who know this story about those emails come in, but I pictured that's something he's going to say. Oh, drugs. I shouldn't be doing meth and crack. Well, somebody takes a Tylenol. Thank you, Henda, for your support.
Please don't misunderstand. I mean, I can't stop you, but I don't know. I get how my words could be misunderstood. And
No, the best. They're always because you're not actually trying to win anything. You're just saying your truth, and I think that's the difference between you and a lot of the super left-wing, justice warriors or whatever the shitty term is now, that they don't have the love with it. They're just kind of saying things to achieve an identity of like, oh, I have to be this person or else I'm not a person. But you're just saying it because you can't not, it's like an impulse. It's like a disease. You have a disease.
Whereas I have to win because I'm not here to waste my time.
Yeah.
Fuck am I here? Not to get. I'm not going to try to
Dude,
save Vincent's life in about 20 minutes. Get the fuck
Hamda. That's the difference between y'all two, which makes it so good. Hamda has all the time in the world, and you have no time. So that combination is the whole podcast, I think.
Which leads to this. Lucy Nicotine. Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers. They're looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative, and they found it. Here's what you can do. Take their lozenges. Lucy has created nicotine gum. Take their gum. 4 milligrams of nicotine flavor. Comes in 3 flavors. Wintergreen, cinnamon, pomegranate. Lozenge, 4 milligrams of nicotine and cherry ice flavor. Get off the vape, dork. Get off the cigarette, you loser. Get off the dip, you ingrate. Come on. I'm talking Lucy Nicotine. You go to Lucy, LUCY.co. The promo code is KATG at checkout. That's it. Okay. Get rid of these stuff that make you look like a dum-dum. Here's a disclaimer I have to read. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. I think you're going to like it this way, though. Lucy.co. Be sure to use the promo code one more time. It's KATG. You're welcome. Is it a drug? How about you're just not dying? All right.
Now I get why y'all are pushing back on the drug thing. I get it now.
Yes.
I get it.
It has been a bit since I saw you, so I'm not sure your thoughts on this. Israel versus Palestine. Go ahead.
oh wow.
I'm just messing around.
I'm proud to be an American. That's what I'm going to say about that.
Right. We don't have to know, right? They did announce a ceasefire. There's always, time goes by after this ceasefire. A mosque or two gets blown up. But it's a ceasefire is weird to me because they said 2 a.m. on Friday. We're recording this after that. But 2 a.m. on Friday will be the ceasefire. It almost goes, you each can have a couple more rockets. I know you loaded them up. All right, go ahead. I'm not an asshole, but at 2 a.m., no more.
I mean, back in the day, it was a ceasefire between fires, because the muskets took like 20 minutes to reload. Yeah. That's what they're doing right now, but with rocket launchers, it's the same thing. I'm never on the side of governments. That's what I realize. Fuck the religious part of it. It never really is about that. It's always political, in my opinion.
Sure.
And I think that usually. I'm just a little kid. What can I say? But in my mind, the bigger government usually sucks. The one that has the larger arms of force usually is the shitty one, and probably doing more bad. And regardless, Israeli, Palestine, please, peace is let's go for it. Please, let's just respect and fuck government stuff.
You heard it from Osama. Peace in the Middle East.
Peace in the Middle East. I like the way that sounds. It flows off the tongue. It's been going on for 11 days. Israeli strikes have killed at least 230 people in Gaza. That's according to Hamas. Some 72,000 Gazans have been displaced. Palestinian militants have fired more than 4,000 rockets into Israel, according to the IDF, Israel Defense League. The longest lull in rocket fire from Gaza of more than 8 hours took place overnight on Thursday. 12 people have been killed in Israel.
That just means that they're firing that many missiles also.
Right.
And one of the interesting parts of this is that we don't call it a war. They don't call it a war. It's apparently we haven't had as many wars as I thought. Not just Israel.
Right.
I'm talking about the United States of America also, because we consider it a conflict. Wow.
Right.
Wow. What are words?
Fox is calling it a kerfluffle, actually. I mean, it's even worse than Fox News.
I wouldn't call it an argument. We're having a discussion.
It's a bit of the Israeli-Palestine tiff right now is raging.
But how about that? When you hear about the Palestinians throwing rocks at the Israelis, that kind of says you don't respect land, right? Israelis are like, that's mine now. I keep it. Well, hold on to the rocks. Come on now.
All peace over everything. If there are big powers shutting down younger powers, that should be addressed and that should be dealt with. But usually in these situations, power does always win. I mean, I remember I seeing like Fox News go like, Ireland gave 1.2 million to Palestine and then it's like, didn't US give 3.4 billion? So it's like people are gonna do the media the way they want it. Just everyone, please figure it out.
By the way, I was just watching. Thank you for that. I was just watching. I'm
sounding so dumb on this.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible.
Absolutely not. I think you're right, and I think that's all you can say about it. And you just sound like, not you, but one sounds like a hippie fool, just going like, "What do I vote for? Peace." Yeah. But if I say that, I sound like an asshole for some reason. I know. No, I'm not gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did I feel like such an asshole just saying peace is great? Like, I've been so fucked by the media now. Oh my god.
And also, when we ask people their opinion, it's like right now the three of us are supposed to come up with a solution and a fault and entire nations aren't able to do this. The UN isn't able to do this, but we from joke form are gonna find who's right, who's wrong, what they can do about it. Like, we're not forming a government here. We have a couple opinions. We're hoping for peace. We're not gonna get it. We understand it. This is what we can do.
But also, go Muslims. Whoops, that slipped out.
Now we're fighting.
There we go.
1 second, Heidi.
1 second, Seal. You're hanging out. I'll be right there, baby. I'll be right there. Anyway, me and Seal are dating. You like my comments?
What's it like when you would do stand up on America's Got Talent and you do look at the panel of four and you're like, no offense to Sofia Vergara, but why?
Yeah. It was. I mean, I remember the round was just effluviant, because people were just going crazy. And Sophia was just like, you're very funny. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking come. Right. And she was just like, it was all good vibes. They're just, they're not real people. They're just, they're so famous. They're so rich. They don't have the luxury of being themselves anymore. They are paid to be what the public sees them as.
But maybe they're there to remind you that we're all here at work and none of this matters beyond the stupidity of this moment, because why should we be on stage when like tens of thousands of people are watching and clapping, hoping that we say something interesting? The whole thing. And, I am not belittling it. It is fantastic. And you did incredibly well. You did the work for it. And maybe she was born pretty.
What it is.
To remind you, it doesn't matter. It's still going to go on like this. Do your best.
It's so simple.
I hate to even bring this up because you can't go back in time, so I don't want you kicking yourself. But would it have been smart that second time you performed to pull up a chair next to Howie Mandel and talk only to him?
See, this kind of show, it's all spectacle.
Right.
They don't want to be like, your thoughts on Israel. It's like they want the guy before you was leading a pig around a trough, that's the level of the show here. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, you're going to come in with finely tuned work, so that's what it is. And so I was like, let me just make sure I have integrity in front of 8 million people at one night. Right. So the jokes I always chose them for be like, they're me. And I'm never going to change myself to acquiesce to millions of people. That's never going to be what I'm trying to look at myself when I'm 55, 60 and be like, I really lived the comedy I wanted to live. And not that I was such an artist that I didn't want to make money. That's lame too. But the idea of being like true to myself in pursuit of a good business and a good artistic self-love.
Side note, and that was beautiful, but a side note, you just gave me a way to sound young. Listen to this.
What?
If you go like, but listen, when I'm like 45, 50, I want to make sure that I'm happy with where I am.
It's like, Emily, you're 62. I don't know.
62.
That's amazing. You're right. Because in that, I said it like it was miles away. Like, oh my God. It's like 15 years, not that far.
How do you feel now?
Now you sound like you're 22.
I know.
How do you feel that things are opening up? Are you nervous about it? Or you know what? I got to work. I got my shots.
I'm ready. I got my shot. I'm double vax, baby. You know, I fucking believe in science and all that. The whole deal. I got it all done. I'm back in the scene. I love comedy. What I wanted to do was not have the same mindset as I did pre-pandemic, where it was all work and at the expense of my body. And that made me feel like I was working. I think that's kind of psychopathic almost. It's like really crazy. I think valuing rest and valuing just idea flow needs to happen in a nice environment where good energy is coming in. So I'm appreciating that more and stopping the idea of putting my whole ego and being into other institutions, because we were all like, clubs, got to get this club, got to that club, and then get this spots here and that spot, acquire this club thing here, and it's like those things all died in one day. They started, and one day all your dreams were dead. So wait, why are you outsourcing your dreams? Your dream is inside. You were still alive. The one constant between pandemic and you was you. Hedge your bets on yourself, not on a place.
I know that we are outside of this podcast listening, giving a standing ovation. That's beautiful.
Yeah. You know what I learned during the pandemic?
I'm glad Keith can stand at all, honestly.
I learned I'm not going to the post office anymore. Yeah. Stamps.com I'm talking about, people. You still go to the post office like a maroon, still paying full price for postage? How about save on postage and don't even go to the post office? That doesn't make sense. Well, I'm telling you. How would it not? I might have researched it. Stamps.com. You don't have to go anymore. Mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. Letters, packages, and pay less. It's a no-brainer. Save time, save money. Nearly 1 million small businesses already use Stamps.com. Okay? And you can be a regular person. They don't know if you're a business or not. All right, stop wasting time going to the post office. Go to Stamps.com instead. No risk. Use the promo code KTG. Get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage.
That's how you send things if you don't know.
Yeah, that's money.
Yeah.
And the digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts.
Oh, that digital scale. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
You will enjoy the shit out of the digital
wink,
scale.
Wink.
I'm only blinking here. There is no winking. I am just blinking.
Yeah, I think 3 winks were plenty. Thank you. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, type in KATG. That's Stamps.com. Promo code is KATG. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. Okay?
Love it.
You're welcome. Speaking, by the way, of Fox News, I was hearing this guy from a Republican from Georgia, a U.S. representative, Andrew Clyde. And he was talking about how they're rounding up all these people that attacked the Capitol. They have at least no exaggeration, at least 400 people they captured, and they're still looking out for people that stormed the Capitol, and rightly so. I remember when it happened. It was right before a Keith and the Girls show, and I'm flipping through the channels, and even Fox News was saying, this is disgusting. They can't believe it. Now time went by, and this Georgia representative was like, quote, if you didn't know the TV footage was from January 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit. This is how they're changing the facts.
Dude,
what the fuck?
Here's what's funny about all these people is that they don't know how the internet works, these people. So they don't know that they think it's still like Benito Mussolini times in terms of media arm. You say something, it takes forever for them to figure. Dude, people are figuring out shit in 13 seconds now. So it's like you are becoming laughing stocks. Like old white men do not know how to use internet right. That one New Yorker guy who got caught for jacking off on the Zoom, what's his goddamn name? He probably just X'd it out. He just X'd out the Zoom without saying mute. I know what he did. And it's like same shit. These guys
You think he minimized it?
minimized it. Exactly. He thought it was like, he saw a red button. He's like, good. So
Does he come back? Does Jeffrey Toobin come back and say, I didn't do it? Why not? Why not try?
Right. That was just tourism or something. You know, I was doing tourism across other screens, you know?
Man, all the proof doesn't matter. But then I always think of this when you're at home and your kids saw you on TV and your dad corrects you like, motherfucker, I can smell the weed here.
I can smell
and the joint's
weed.
still in your mouth. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt that it didn't blow in the house, Dad. And I was yawning. Like, no, we don't play dumb in the house. We play dumb on CNN. We play dumb on Fox News. We don't play dumb in this house.
Yeah,
CNN 100. Is not my kid. I didn't birth Fox News. Okay. We're home now. 100%. Don't look at me like I'm an idiot.
I feel like this is going into an ad. And speaking of idiot, don't be an idiot with new Brain Games Deluxe. Check it out.
I mean, this stuff makes me crazy. BetterHelp. It's 2021 and mental health is finally a thing. So many people are struggling right now. Usama. Therapy helps, and it doesn't have to be just sitting around, not knowing what you're doing. Whatever you need, it's time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles. Start feeling better. Kenda uses them, loves them. I'm saying I don't have to right now, but I'm thinking about it. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Keith and the Girl listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/KTG. Am I wrong, Kenda? You're a big fan, right?
Oh, I'm a big fan. I have an appointment this Tuesday coming up, and I love it. And I really am a strong believer of like, you might not even know what you're holding back. So you dial into a neutral party. And when I say dial in person, over the phone, over video, somebody who can help you find that first question to answer maybe, and then suddenly you find yourself in this space. So I don't know. I think even if you think like, well, how can talking to someone help? I don't have any problems. I think that's where the problem lies. Like if you think I don't have any problems, at least know that you have a problem. Okay. But if you think I don't have any problems, that might be a problem. Go talk to someone. It's like the easiest thing you can do.
BetterHelp.com/KTG. And thank you, Usama, for the assist.
Oh, yeah.
You remember where we met Usama, right, Kenda? It was at the Yonkers Comedy Festival.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Keith and Kenda were judges there.
Jesus Christ. So long
and we
ago.
voted correctly. He was number one, won the whole thing. And now look, here we are.
I remember I called Kenda a tramp that day. And here we are.
She loved it.
It's all I like. I just like people calling me by the wrong name.
Tramp.
I like that he keeps going for it.
Kenda.
Right. He says it every which way. Like one of them have to be, right?
Yeah, they do, don't they?
That's right. You want to download the podcast, Mango Bay. You want to follow him online at Usama Stands Up. And to hear other times he was on Keith and the Girl, we do you the favor, keithandthegirl.com/Usama, and you'll see everything right there. What else should people know, Usama?
By the way, he's one of maybe 2 or 3 people where keithandthegirl.com/only his first name.
Oh, that's insane. That's awesome. And I don't know why. That makes us
right.
Somebody's going to tell us we can't do that. It's placating or something.
Right. I'm not a Brazilian soccer player. I have 2 names. Right. I'm just always putting up stuff on my IG every day besides Friday. I'm putting up new videos. Usama Stands Up. Follow the podcast, Mango Bay. These are things. Love y'all. Every time I come on, it's just such a good time. Love to see y'all still at it.